What is happening at J Gamer Dude here, and now we have two PlayStation CEOs after Jim Ryan kind of finished his run and pretty much retired from being PlayStation CEO. And during that era of PlayStation, quite a lot of gamers were not happy, including myself, about how he handled PlayStation, and he felt far more like a businessman or a business-facing individual rather than someone talking to us as the consumer or the gamer. Now that we have Hideaki Nishino and Herman Hulst, taking almost a dual role in that sense. So Herman is going to be more so the consumer-facing, gamer-facing individual who is going to be talking to us pretty much, in a way, when it comes to providing announcements for games and things like that, and taking over. And of course, he's always kind of been the head of PlayStation Studios as a whole anyways. And Herman Hulst is Hideaki Nishino is going to be on the business side and is the more business-facing individual when it comes to hardware and things like that. So we've got the software side, the hardware side, and obviously, one more outward-facing towards us as the consumer, and one inward-facing, more so business-related. So with all of that being said, what does the future look like for PlayStation? So a couple of interesting tidbits came out from this discussion that the dual CEOs had, specifically that with each PS5 sold, it generated over $700 of additional spending, which is higher than the previous generation. So effectively, what they're saying is that there's a high, it doesn't necessarily need to be a high attachment rate, which is the, per console on average how many games each person owns. Rather, the idea is that if a person buys a PS5, they're at least going to be on average spending $700 US on games, accessories, whatever have you. So everything put together, whatever additional spending that they do beyond the console itself, that is on average how much people spend, is $700 US. And that is quite a lot of money. So it really stands to make a difference that, like, if they're making a loss, if they're like losing money on each sale of a console, then the additional spending, it would 100% make up for that. Though I don't think they're actually selling at a loss anymore, so they're just making even more boatloads of money. So that I thought was quite an interesting tidbit. But the main thing that we're going to be talking about is PC and live services. So more specifically, what happened with Helldivers 2. So moving forward, when it comes to any games that fall under the category of PlayStation trying their hand at live service games, they are going to be releasing on PC and PS5 at the same time. And that's to try and bring in as many people as possible. But you might be thinking, hold on, what about what happened with the PSN requirement? Pretty much in relation to what happened with Helldivers 2. And good point. So effectively, what's going to be happening is, to avoid what happened with Helldivers 2 happening with any other games moving forward, every game released by PlayStation on PC will require PSN moving forward. And this was iterated specifically at the beginning of their state of play as well. So, all PlayStation games on PC will require a PSN account, whether or not it's multiplayer or single player only. So Concord will absolutely require this, but so will God of War Ragnarok when that comes out later on this year. So again, interesting to see that sort of decision being made. The idea of also live services, being pushed out to PC and PlayStation to get as many people as possible. But of course, these games will not be sold in those 170 countries that couldn't actually buy Helldivers 2 after the game was lifted from those Steam stores due to the PSN requirement being put back in after it was removed at launch. So that will be required moving forward as a result. Now, regarding AI, pretty much Herman did say along the lines that AI is going to be assisting in some ways in development, and I just thought that was kind of interesting, to say the least. But it also seems like the PlayStation CEOs almost feel like the future of gaming is going to be specifically in mobile, PC, and devices along those lines. So I do wonder like what's going to happen to PlayStation so further on down the line. They didn't talk specifically about that, but I feel like that's going to be quite interesting to say the least. So they did mention a few interesting games. Not interesting games, but interesting things, like making sure that games still remain particularly of high quality, and how to use AI as a way of being able to do this. So what they said was, we also see opportunities in AI to level up our own productivity to enhance player experiences, enabling us to better serve players and creators, create new experiences, and drive organization-wide efficiencies. Jesus Christ, reading, man. Is what Nishino said. Research and experimentation in AI and machine learning is a focus for us, Holst added. With work being done across a wide variety of our development tools and processes, we have a wealth of knowledge and experiences forged from decades of gaming industry experience that will enable us to implement AI tools efficiently and impactfully. I do question the use of the term impactfully, but I digress. Yeah, so the idea is that they're trying to not compromise on quality while trying to keep a smaller scope and scale than anything else, but also trying to implement AI in ways to help assist getting games out faster. Because as time has gone on, the development timeline for games has only gotten longer as time has gone on, and it's going to be interesting kind of seeing what that looks like. It does seem like some of the lip syncing for certain games does seem a little bit off during the PlayStation State of Play, but say for something like Monster Hunter, that kind of makes sense because it's usually, the lip syncing is usually done to the dubbing of the Japanese voices rather than English, so that's just kind of things looking. So if anything kind of seems off, that's pretty much the reason why that would be. But I think it was Concord that people were saying that the lip syncing felt a little bit off. So I feel like that might be, I'm not saying that it is, might actually be an example of AI being used in a game, for example. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what's going to be happening moving forward. There is a good amount of stuff that has been mentioned in this, I was going to say speech, but presentation by the PlayStation CEOs. And so it's really just a matter of time before we kind of see what's going to be happening moving forward. But there are at least a few things that have been mentioned without a doubt that we don't need to question. So, which is that live service games by PlayStation are going to be on PC and PS5 simultaneously from day one. And also that moving forward, all PlayStation games, regardless of whether they're single player or multiplayer on PC, will require a PSN account. So unequivocally, that is without a doubt something for sure. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 200 subs by the end of the year. And with all that said and done, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.